Good morning. I'm Alison Campsey from the Scotsman. It is Wednesday, December the 3rd. I'm here with my colleague Lauren Jack, who's a trends writer for the Scotsman. And today we're going to speak about Spotify Wrapped. Now, we know Spotify Wrapped is of massive interest to music lovers around the world. And I'm here with Lauren, who knows an awful lot about it, to try and explain what it is and what the buzz is about. So good morning, Lauren.
Good morning.
Good morning. So you know a lot about Spotify Wrapped, so I'm hoping you can help us understand what it is and why is there such a big buzz about it?
So essentially, Spotify Wrapped takes, if you're a user of the app, what it does is it takes all your listening data from around the past 12 months. And at the end of the year, so around about this time each year, it will then present to you all of your listening data in a fun kind of like story format of like your top artists of the year, your top songs of the year, sometimes top podcasts. I think this year there might even be something like audiobooks. So it's basically just a deep dive into all of your music listening habits.
And how big a buzz is there around Spotify Wrapped? I mean, we know that there's a fair few Spotify users around the world. How big a deal is it, do you think?
I think it's a pretty big deal, especially among people who are like fans of music, like, you know, your Swifties, for example. People like to see, because it's one of those things, because it's over such a long period of time, people don't really think about what they're listening to. They don't think about it in depth anyway. So you're just listening to stuff and your habits will change from, you know, the start of the year to the end of the year as new music is released. And I think that the appeal of Spotify Wrapped is that you kind of get an insight into your own listening habits in a way that you wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah.
And also, as I say, for something like Swifties, there's also like listening figures that show you're in whatever percent of listeners for your favorite artist. So for example, you could be a Taylor Swift fan who listens to goodness knows how many minutes of her music, and then you can be like a 0.0001% top fan of hers, for example.
Yeah, there's a bit of a badge of honor, I think, as well, like when the results come out, and you know, it does kind of like tell you really how big a fan you are in terms of how many hours that you listen to. So I mean, we know Spotify is massively used as a platform. There's obviously other platforms available, but how many Spotify users will get a Spotify Wrapped kind of rundown today?
So there's more than, I think it's 730 million users around the world. And that's just monthly active users. And whether you have a premium account or a free account, everyone will get a Spotify Wrapped. It just kind of gets delivered to your app, to your phone, and it'll come with a data story and also a playlist of like all of your top tracks of the year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have to say, I did wake up this morning and go, oh, it's Spotify Wrap Day. And I did look at my phone, but we're thinking the list might come out at 1 o'clock today. Judging on how Spotify have played this out in previous years. Is that right?
Yeah, so basically, Spotify don't confirm exactly when Wrapped will come out.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. We don't
Mm-hmm.
know an exact date. We don't know an exact time. But for the last couple of days, so since Monday, Spotify have been teasing on their social media, Wrapped is coming soon. Yesterday, they made a post about make sure that your app is all up to date, which I wrote an article about, because if your app isn't up to date, you're unlikely to get your Spotify Wrapped through. But based on like past years, so since 2021, it has been released on a Wednesday, and it's either been the last Wednesday in November or the first Wednesday in December, and we're at the first Wednesday in December. And if the pattern holds, which it does vary from year to year, it'll probably be released maybe around like 1 to like 2 p.m. is when people should
Yeah.
start receiving it.
Okay. And are you looking forward to seeing what's on your list this year, Lauren?
I am. I'm actually really curious because I don't know what could possibly be on mine this year. I've listened to a lot of different music, and this year I kind of challenged myself to, instead of listening to just playlists, to listen to more albums. So I think
Yeah.
that'll be interesting to see if that's impacted things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would like to know how many minutes of music I listened to, because I think I've listened to less this year than I did last year. But
Yeah, I'm always surprised to see in minutes how much music I listen to. And I know I listen to a lot, but sometimes Spotify can really surprise you in the information it delivers back on what you've been up to in that year. And I think you said that it kind of tells you a bit about yourself and lets you sort of look at your listening habits in a way that you don't really consider them at the time. And I think it was either last year or the year before, there was an album that came out in the October, and it was in my most listened to album by the December, and I was really shocked at that because it was a style of music. It's actually like a Scottish folk album. Like I won't say who it is, but it was like a sort of female soloist, you know, sings about heartbreak and existential dread. And for some reason, that just obviously really, really resonated with me heavily between the October and the December. So it's really interesting to get these little reflections on what you've been listening to. So I'll be interested to hear like what's on your list. I'm looking forward to picking mine up as well. And I think Spotify Wrapped is something that people speak about. It's something they share on social media. So I do think there's a lot of interest in it. So we'll see how things look for folk after 1 o'clock today. So thank you, Lauren, very much for coming on and sharing your knowledge about Spotify Wrapped, and happy listening.
Thank you, you too.